Hey guys, I'm testing out a new streaming tool that's called StreamYard, and it's pretty nice. Oh shit! Need to disable the audio then. So I'm testing out this new streaming tool that is called StreamYard, and I thought it would be a good chance to just do a little bit of a recap before tomorrow's event on the 27th. 9:30 EDT, where DJI is releasing their new Mavic Air 2. So I made a comprehensive list of 20 things that you should know before and to expect once the drone has been released. And of course, feel free to jump in with comments and yeah, in general, while I'm going through this list. So the first one I have on the list, that's maybe an obvious one. That's it's going to be a 4K camera with a fully stabilized 3-axis gimbal. So that's not a big surprise. But the number 2 is kind of a surprise. It will be 4K with 60 FPS. So that puts sort of the bigger Mavics a bit under pressure because none of them is capable of doing 60 FPS. So 4K 60 FPS is to be expected. Another surprise is that the sensor is actually a 1/2-inch sensor, which is better than the 1 or 2/3 that is currently being used in the previous generation of the Mavic Air, but also in the Mavic 2 Zoom. So that's a big bit of a surprise that you would actually get a better sensor with the new Mavic Air 2. Another a fourth thing that you need to know is that this is not going to be flown by the DJI Fly. It's not going to be flown by the DJI Go 4 app. It's actually being the same app that's being used by the Mavic Mini. It's going to be the DJI Fly app that will be expanded with the functionality that is needed to fly the Mavic Air 2. So that's going to be interesting because I really like the Fly app because of the simplicity. It's way more simpler or better looking than the Go 4 app. But with the Mavic Air 2 and a lot of extra stuff being crammed in there, there will probably be the interface will probably be a bit more busy. So let's see. Yeah, okay. And the fifth thing that I picked up is that it will be capable of doing 48 megapixel pictures, like these super pictures, which is basically being stitched from the 12 megapixel sensor. It's being stitched from pictures that are put together to one single big picture. So that will give it's a feature known from the Mavic 2 Zoom that will also be available on the Mavic Air 2. So let's see. It will have obstacle sensors in the front, back, and below. It will feature active track 3.0, supposedly. I've seen some videos that show the capabilities of this new active track, and I have a hard time getting my head around how they can make this as good as it is with only sensors in the front, back, and in the base. Because you should expect or would expect maybe to run into problems without any side sensors present. But that would be interesting to see. It's also supposed to feature something called Point of Interest PDI 3.0. That's still to be seen what that is, but it sounds interesting. It sounds like an upgraded version of the Point of Interest. And of course, it will have a bunch of quick shots as the other more advanced DJI drones, and it will feature Advanced Pilot Assistance 2.0, whatever that is. It will feature a maximum flight speed of 68.4 kilometers an hour, and it will have a flight time of 34 minutes, which is a pretty long time actually. So getting like a Fly More combo package with 3 extra batteries, you will have more than 1.5 hours of flight time. That's a lot of footage that you can generate there, especially if you are shooting 4K footage. I'm just taking a sneak peek here on the chat. Feel free to drop in if I picked up some of this information wrong, or you have additional information. Then just oh yeah. So as see, I can do this. This is pretty fancy. I can put people's comments up here. We can clearly see that it will be 4K 60 FPS. And yes, there was a leak on the Best Buy website that where they kind of stated that. But I also heard that from my internal contact that it is 4K 60 FPS. So I'm pretty sure about that information. The weight will be 470 grams. And the range will be approximately 8 kilometers in FCC mode and 4 kilometers with the CE with OcuSync 2.0. Unfortunately, the Mavic Air 2 will not or is not compatible with the smart controller as it is. I'm not saying that it won't be that in the future, but right now it doesn't work. It features a new remote. There's a lot of pictures featuring of that one where they have moved the phone from the bottom, from putting the phone in the bottom to the top of the remote, and they integrated the antennas. So from the picture, it looks a little bit big and bulky, but I think it would be a nice experience once you get it in your hands. There will be only one model for FCC and CE with this kind of drone. And there's also no reason for having different models here. And the reason why that's interesting in the past was because the original Mavic Air was a Wi-Fi drone, and we had to hack it to get the good performance here in Europe. But with OcuSync 2.0, that is not that important anymore. And according to my information, there will be two models available. There will be the standard model with a single battery, and then there will be like a Fly More combo that is available with the additional 3 batteries and all the extra bells and whistles that we know from the normal Fly More combo combination. And many have been thinking about if this was offering zoom capabilities, and as far as I see, it does not offer zoom capabilities. If it did, then it would put the Mavic 2 Zoom in serious problems because it has a way higher price point. And that's another thing. The price point seems to be around $799. So those were, I think, around 20 things that I could pick up, or I have picked up around the Mavic Air 2 that we are supposed to see tomorrow. So let me just put up. It's killing me. It's not having to work with the smart controller. The smart controller is so freaking awesome. Yes, it's a madly expensive product, and I think it would be a big mistake if DJI does not make it compatible with the Mavic Air 2. And I think maybe it's only a matter of getting a newer version of the software to make it work. But I haven't been able to confirm so far that this is the plan that DJI has with this. JC asks if it would be possible to have the iPad mini on the controller. I haven't had the controller physically in my hand, so I can't really say if the bracket can stretch so much that it will fit in there. But I would expect there would be some sort of an aftermarket solution that you would be able to strap in this controller, that you would be able to strap in the bracket and maybe be able to fixate the iPad. It would be in a pretty ideal position when it's up there. And EF says, is it €799? No, $799 US. And I will expect a couple of more $100 to get the Fly More combo. So let's see what else we have. Rumor. I'm sorry if I. So Mock Rumor says, did you see the controller? Yes, I've only seen the pictures. I haven't seen the drone physically, so I can't. I can only relate to the information that I've been told. But I have seen the pictures that have been leaked on Twitter. Maybe we can actually find it. That's just now we're testing this new streaming software anyway. So let's see if I can figure out how to do that. So I will just put me on stop screen share. So if I go in here, Chrome tab. So see if there's a picture of the controller somewhere. That is not. But I know this guy, he probably has a picture of it. So let's just go to the front page here. It's a pretty good source of some of the latest rumors here, even though he's picking it off someone else. So there it is. How do we get it? So this is the controller. It does seem kind of big. So see what else we have here. A lot of people in the chat today. That's lovely. Lovely. Thank you, all of you, for stopping by. This is a really, really great question, because this Active Track 3.0, I haven't seen other information than the ones that have, the videos that have been leaked, but I can't imagine that it can beat Skydio because it simply lacks the amount of sensors. You have to think about that the Skydio contains 6 cameras that are live streaming into a very, very powerful computer platform. to be able to calculate the surroundings, and there's no way that the DJI will be able to match that. So I would not expect that the Active Track 3.0 will be on par with the Skyview 2. Not at all. JC asked if you can put a picture in the chat. I don't think you can do that. There's some limitations. This is the same limitations that are in the YouTube chat. So I don't think that is possible. What about the audio? Is the audio levels on this stream, are they okay? I tried to play some music from Epidemic Sound in the background to make it a little bit more cozy when we are hanging out here discussing drones. And hey, Ray, there are some familiar faces in here. Okay, yeah, that's kind of always difficult. What do you want to hear, Andy? Let me know. Drones, YT is information about frame rates in 4K. Yes, 60 FPS is 99.9% certain that we will have that. Click on the latest tab. Nick Jins, click on the latest tab on Twitter. Let's do that. So let's just go here and see if there's something new. Latest, there it was. Something about the imaging processor that's being used inside the drone, IMX 586, 4K 90 FPS. I don't think the drone will utilize that, but that's a pretty powerful thing if they jammed that one in there. That would put the Mavic 2 series seriously under pressure. And the half-inch sensor, that is a pretty powerful sensor as well. So it's so let's see. This is the sensor panel. Yeah. A half-inch type stack CMOS sensor. It does 1080p 240 FPS and 720 at 480 FPS. Sweet. Yeah. Nothing to complain about there. The drone looks nice too. Oh, there are pictures of the controller. Yes, that was the picture. And it's a lot of expanding that it needs to be able to do if it has to grab in or be able to hold an iPad, as it seems. Just scroll down and see if there's something more interesting. I wonder if they would really pull that off to be able to offer 4K at 90 FPS. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. This one. Let's just go in here and see what's going on here. That doesn't look like. That looks more like a Mavic 2. Just grab this, put it over here so I can see the chat from you guys. Yes, all of this is speculation. Of course, it's all. But I do have contacts inside the industry that had actually had the unit in his hands. So it's not far-fetched, everything that I'm saying. So, oh, hello, Freddie. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. JC asks if 799 FCC will have ADS-B That part I'm actually not sure of. But at some point, the DJI claimed that all newer drones that they would release would contain ADS-B, so there is a high chance it will have it. And Ray says he's glad that the phone or iPad will go on the top. Yeah, I think we will all benefit from that. If you remember back in the Phantom days, that was also on the top, and it was sitting there very nicely. So let's see. Let's find some other music for Andy F. Yeah. Modern yoga. Was there maybe modern yoga? Is that something? Particle house. That is the only. I like those. It's kind of a very easygoing music from Epidemic Sound. Let's see what else we have here. If this is this is your first drone, then you are in for a big surprise. You will be amazed about the functionality that you get in this package. You will get a lot of good fun out of it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, tomorrow. I think I would actually be sleeping while they're releasing it. It's a kind of an odd release time or odd point that they have chosen now to release it, at least for us in Europe, because it's in the middle of the night. But yeah, I'm feeling tempted to pull the trigger on the Mavic Air 2. And Andy F was about to pull the trigger on the original Mavic Air. Yeah, that would be a big mistake right now. Actually, at least wait until the new one is out. Then you can decide if it's worth getting the new one or to pick up one of the original Mavic Airs at a good, affordable price. But I think it is worth going for the new one. That is it's a pretty awesome drone. That's going to be a pretty awesome drone with the specs that we've seen so far. Freddy asks if it will be a Wi-Fi drone, and we know it will definitely not be a Wi-Fi drone. And that was one of the biggest complaints about the original Mavic Air. That was the Wi-Fi connectivity issues that we saw there. And the new one, that will be with OcuSync 2.0, so that will be a rock-solid connection. So that's a big improvement, and probably enough to justify jumping on the new one. Regarding sales, what I know so far is at least here in Europe or in Denmark, it will take maybe 1 or 2 weeks after tomorrow before units are available for sales. So I guess you can pre-order them tomorrow, but it will be maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks before we get them, at least in Europe. Let's see if there's something else interesting going on here on Twitter. Let's see what happens if I click here. Lon, where did you get married in Denmark? Yes, me too. I have tried many times to get a working relationship with GGI, but I have not been able to do it so far. And it's kind of a mixed thing because, of course, I want to have a free drone basically for my evaluation, but I also know that they have very, very strict rules about who they are giving these drones, and it's followed up by very strict control. And if you're not basically doing what you're supposed to do, then you might run into troubles with DJI. Their marketing team is a pretty tough cookie. So I actually have, apart from having to spend the money every time there's a new product coming out, it's pretty good because I can basically buy the drone, I can fly the crap out of it, and then I can tell you exactly what I think about it. I don't need to sort of answer to DJI's marketing team. I know a lot of the other YouTubers, they would tell you that they can say whatever they want, but believe me, they can't say whatever they want. Yeah, they can, but then they won't get a drone next time. You can just go to the DJI website. It's definitely going to be posted there. The whole event, they normally post that on the DJI website, or you can find it on DJI Innovation, I think it's called, on YouTube. So that's very easy. That should be very easy to find. And there'll probably be a million of these reviews tomorrow, just after the launch. Oh, Legoland. Legoland in that's actually Billund. If it's the theme park, Legoland. That is a nice place. And congratulations if it's recently you have been married. Okay, maybe we should go and check that one out. But I think this is the capability of the sensor. It's not what they're going to actually offer us, because it needs a processor on the other end to process all that footage, and it would be absolutely crazy if it's a 6K. But it looks promising that they have this kind of sensor available. So it'd be funny to see what kind of specs they end up offering us. But at least we have confirmed right now that we will get 4K 60 FPS. All right, I think that was it. I will end this live stream. Thank you for joining me, and it was fun testing out this new StreamYard tool. I think I will see whatever I can do with this. Yeah, I will see what I can do with this going forward. There is a paid version that will allow to do a little bit more different stuff, so I might want to investigate that. So this was just a test live stream just to see if I could make that concept here work out. I have been wanting to do live streams more for a while, and I've been messing a lot with OBS and some of the other streaming softwares, but all of them, I don't know. It's not easy to get this going. And the smart part about StreamYard is that it's extremely easy to bring on guests. So we might want to experiment a little bit with this, bringing on people. The only thing that is required is that you have a computer at the other end and a camera. So maybe I could bring some of you onto a live stream so we could discuss directly on drones. What do you think about that? I guess that that could be a fun experiment if you're up for that. All right, take care, and I'll be seeing you around.